President Trump will deliver his State of the Union address to the nation. We will carry it live, of course, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on ABC. We'll go live to Mary Bruce at the White House in a moment. Also tonight, hear this new and heartbreaking message from Savannah Guthrie, a $1 million reward now, and what she now acknowledges about her own mother. We'll have her message. But we do begin tonight with these 2 new storms coming as millions dig out from the blizzard right now. A fast-moving clipper bringing more snow and ice from Minnesota to New York to Maine tomorrow morning. And then another storm right...
A historic bomb cyclone has brought the Northeast to a standstill tonight, burying major cities under record-breaking snowfall and unleashing hurricane-force wind gusts along the I-95 corridor. From Philadelphia to New York City and into Boston, whiteout conditions shut down highways, grounded transportation systems, and forced millions indoors. Entire neighborhoods vanished behind walls of wind-driven snow. Power infrastructure buckled under the weight of heavy accumulation and falling trees, leaving hundreds of thousands in the dark. Emergency crews struggled to respond as roads became impassable and visibility dropped to near zero. In some coastal areas, gusts topped 80 miles per hour, intensifying already dangerous conditions. Officials across multiple states declared emergencies, urging residents to remain home as plows fought a losing battle against snowfall rates measured in inches per hour. Tonight, this is not just a winter storm. It is a full-scale regional disruption with cascading consequences still unfolding.
Me, him, her, and the lady there. It's up to us to dig ourselves out.
City officials asking for patience.
All the areas we're having challenges are narrow streets where there's very limited space for the snow to go.
The blizzard hit Northeast airports hard and absolutely wrecked air travel. More than 11,000 flights canceled since Sunday, including more than 2,000 just today, and thousands more delayed.
And David, it's so bad that American Airlines is adding 4,000 seats to recover from this and try to catch up. It's going to take days to really recover from all of this. And remember that more storms are headed to the Northeast this week.
Yep. Speaking of those storms, Gio, thank you.
The impact has been both immediate and widespread. In Boston, vehicles fishtailed across icy streets while first responders were forced to dig out stranded ambulances. In New York City, heavy, wet snow snapped tree limbs and triggered manhole fires as underground electrical systems were strained. Times Square, normally pulsing with activity, stood eerily empty. Across Massachusetts alone, hundreds of thousands lost power, many in coastal communities exposed to the fiercest wind gusts. Blizzard warnings stretched hundreds of miles, and at times conditions were so severe that plowing operations had to pause for safety. Snowfall totals surpassed 2 feet in multiple states, with some areas reporting even higher accumulations. Officials warned that while snowfall rates may slow, blowing snow and drifting would continue to create hazardous conditions well into the next day. The scale of this storm has exposed vulnerabilities in infrastructure, mobility, and emergency response, and recovery will not be immediate.
The storm takes a turn to the north and brings a little snow to the I-95 corridor later Thursday into Thursday evening. We'll know more tomorrow. David?
Again, the track is going to determine it all, and Lee, you'll be right here with us. We appreciate it. We turn to the other news here this evening and to this heartbreaking new plea from Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. The family now offering their own $1 million reward in the search for their mother, Nancy Guthrie. Savannah Guthrie now acknowledging tonight her mother, quote, may be lost. She may already be gone.
Even as crews work to restore power and reopen roadways, meteorologists are tracking additional systems poised to bring more snow later this week. Though lighter in intensity, these follow-up storms could complicate cleanup efforts and prolong disruptions for communities already stretched thin. Warmer temperatures may bring gradual melting, but that introduces new risks, including flooding and refreezing overnight. The broader story here is resilience under strain. How cities built for winter weather still confront extraordinary pressure when conditions reach historic levels. For millions across the Northeast, daily life has been abruptly halted. And while this blizzard will eventually move offshore, its economic and logistical ripple effects will linger. As the region braces for what comes next, attention now turns from snow-covered streets to grounded aircraft and a transportation system struggling to recover nationwide.
Since our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed,
The suspect appeared at Nancy Guthrie's front door earlier than the night of her abduction. Sources told ABC News this image of him without a backpack was captured sometime before February 1st, suggesting he may have planned the abduction in advance. Investigators found DNA inside the house. It's a mixed sample from more than one person, making it hard to build a profile of a possible suspect. Tonight,
The blizzard's impact did not stop at city limits. It paralyzed air travel across the United States. More than 11,000 flights have been canceled through tomorrow, grounding passengers in major hubs including New York, Boston, and Philadelphia. Entire departure boards were wiped clean as airports shut down runways amid whiteout conditions and relentless crosswinds. Aircraft were unable to safely take off or land, and snow removal crews struggled to keep pace with rapid accumulation. Travelers found themselves stranded not just in the Northeast, but in cities thousands of miles away as the ripple effect cascaded through tightly coordinated airline networks. With crews and aircraft displaced, the disruption now extends far beyond the storm zone. For many passengers, the challenge is no longer today's cancellation. It's securing a seat days from now in an already overbooked system.
family is hoping this $1 million reward will prod someone who knows something to come forward.
Tell what you know and help us bring our beloved mom home so that we can either celebrate a glorious, miraculous homecoming or celebrate the beautiful, brave, and
Inside terminals, frustration mounted as rebookings filled quickly and alternative routes disappeared. Airlines now face the complex task of repositioning aircraft and crews while clearing backlogs created by a near total shutdown in some corridors. The recovery process will take time. Even once skies clear, aircraft must be de-iced, runways inspected, and schedules rebuilt from scratch. Experts warn that secondary impacts, from missed connections to displaced equipment, can extend disruptions well beyond the duration of the storm itself. For business travelers, families, and international passengers alike, the financial and logistical consequences are significant. The blizzard has underscored how interconnected the aviation system truly is, where severe weather in one region can halt movement nationwide. And as flights slowly resume, attention shifts south of the border, where a very different crisis is unfolding in real time.
Cartel members pulling people out of cars, setting those cars on fire. And what we're now learning about an American Airlines flight apparently shot at while trying to land in Colombia. Here's Victor Oquendo tonight.
Tonight, in a show of force, a Mexican warship now docked with over 100 soldiers on board in the popular resort town of Puerto Vallarta. As Americans in Mexico recount the violence that ignited after a drug lord was killed in a military operation, the cartel retaliating swiftly.
Americans vacationing in some of Mexico's most popular tourist destinations were urged to shelter in place after a major cartel leader was killed in an operation by Mexican authorities. The death of Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho and identified as a powerful figure in organized crime, triggered swift and violent retaliation. Reports emerged of roadblocks, burning vehicles, and businesses set ablaze across multiple regions. Airports temporarily suspended operations as travelers scrambled for safety. U.S. officials confirmed intelligence support in the operation and advised citizens to remain indoors until stability returned. The violence transformed familiar beach destinations into scenes of chaos, underscoring the volatility that can follow high-profile enforcement actions.
We're randomly just yanking people out of their cars and taking the cars and also setting them on fire.
Yoni Pizer visiting from Chicago with his husband and friends when he says a gunman approached their rental car in Puerto Vallarta.
And he got to the car, pointed at my head, and through the window said, "Get out of the car." He threw like a bomb or an incendiary device in it, and the car exploded.
Pizer hunkering down for days after the State Department urged U.S. tourists across Mexico to shelter in place. Tonight, that order lifted. Video online showing part of that military raid on Sunday that left at least 30 members of the Jalisco New Generation cartel.
Authorities described coordinated responses by cartel members, including widespread disruptions to transportation routes and commercial activity. The rapid escalation prompted emergency communications between U.S. and Mexican officials as hundreds of Americans sought guidance. While conditions have reportedly begun stabilizing in some areas, the episode highlights the complex security environment in regions that also serve as major tourist hubs. The killing of a top cartel figure represents a significant development in ongoing anti-trafficking efforts, particularly related to fentanyl distribution. But such operations can carry immediate risks, including retaliatory violence that impacts civilians and international visitors alike. For travelers, the message was clear: remain sheltered, monitor official updates,
Airlines
and avoid
passenger jet
unnecessary
apparently
movement.
shot at while
As
landing
calm
in Colombia
gradually
on
returns,
Sunday.
another
Officials saying the
security
bullet holes
concern closer
were
to home
uncovered
is
after
drawing
it touched down
national
here in
attention
Miami
tonight.
the following day. No injuries were reported. Meanwhile, in Mexico, Americans there are being urged to make sure that their flights are on track to depart before heading to the airport. David?
Victor Kendo with us tonight. Victor, thank you. Just a short time from now, President Trump will deliver his State of the Union address to Congress and, of course, to the American people. Tonight, the president will talk about the issues, the economy,
Authorities are investigating how a 21-year-old man was able to breach the security perimeter at Mar-a-Lago before being shot and killed by law enforcement. According to officials, the individual allegedly arrived armed with a shotgun and a gas can in the early morning hours. He was confronted near the property's entrance and fatally shot after raising the weapon. Former President Donald Trump was not at the residence at the time. Investigators are now piecing together the suspect's movements, including reports that he traveled from North Carolina to Florida shortly before the incident.
affordability in this country. He will likely address his tariffs. Of course, the Supreme Court ruling against his tariffs in recent days, with some of the justices right there in the chamber in front of the president. And who the president is inviting into that chamber tonight. Here's Mary Bruce at the White House.
Tonight, battling the toughest poll numbers since he left office, President Trump preparing to defend his first year back and make the case for Republicans in the midterm elections.
It's going to be a long speech because we have so much to talk about.
Tonight, the president will find himself face to face with the Supreme Court, some of the justices sitting front and center just days after the court wiped away his signature tariffs, dealing a massive blow to his economic agenda. Last year, Trump warmly greeting
Sources indicate writings referencing Jeffrey Epstein were found in the suspect's vehicle, raising questions about possible motive. Law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, are leading the investigation into how the individual accessed the perimeter and whether warning signs were missed prior to the event. Family members had reportedly filed a missing persons report shortly before the incident, and authorities are examining the timeline of firearm acquisition and travel. The breach has renewed scrutiny over protective security protocols at high-profile residences, even when the protectee is not present. Officials emphasized that the response was swift and that no additional injuries occurred. Still, the incident underscores the persistent challenges facing security personnel tasked with safeguarding nationally significant properties in an era of heightened threats. Developments reveal a nation navigating multiple fronts of disruption, from a historic blizzard crippling the Northeast and grounding thousands of flights, to violent cartel retaliation in Mexico affecting American travelers, and a deadly security breach investigation in Florida. Each story underscores a common thread: the speed at which crisis can escalate and the strain placed on infrastructure, safety systems, and public confidence. As recovery begins in snow-covered cities and investigations continue both at home and abroad, the coming days will determine how quickly stability returns. What concerns you most? The extreme weather events, global security volatility, or domestic safety vulnerabilities? For continuing coverage, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for next video as we break down the remaining major headlines shaping tonight's news cycle.